Ever feel like you're just pushing this boulder uphill when you're trying to build like lasting habits?
Yeah.
You get stuck in this loop of setting goals and then watching them totally fizzle out.
Yeah, it's so common.
It is, and it's frustrating, right?
Absolutely.
Like, what if I told you there's a better way,
Okay.
a more effective way, kind of surprising even, to approach change?
I'm all ears.
Today we are diving into Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Great book.
And this book is jam-packed with insights that honestly can completely revolutionize how you think about growth.
I think for me, what's so cool about this whole Atomic Habits thing,
Yeah.
it's not about some massive overnight transformation,
Totally.
It's understanding the power of these tiny changes, these atomic habits
Right.
that compound over time to create these remarkable results, which is kind of amazing to think about.
Yeah. Like, it's so tempting to go for those big, flashy wins,
Totally. Instant gratification.
Yes.
We all want it.
Exactly.
But his whole approach is about playing the long game.
Right.
Which I think is so perfect for our listeners because
Yeah.
you guys are all about continuous learning and making those like incremental gains
Exactly.
that lead to something truly substantial. And I think what's also inspiring is that Clear himself,
Yeah, right.
he went through this life-changing experience that kind of led him to this work.
Yeah, he did.
So he had this devastating high school injury
Oh, yeah.
where he had to relearn like basic functions.
Really? Wow.
And then he went on to play college baseball.
It's incredible.
So he like embodies this atomic habits philosophy,
Yeah.
showing us that even when we're faced with setbacks,
Yeah.
these consistent small steps can lead to incredible outcomes.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's almost like the story of British cycling.
Oh, yeah. A great example, how they went from being virtually unknown to dominating the cycling world just by making these tiny incremental improvements in every single aspect of their training and preparation.
Wow. I love that story. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And so that's what we are going to be unpacking today is like how those seemingly insignificant 1% changes can add up to, get this, a 37 times improvement over time.
That's wild, isn't it? 37x. It's like, if you think about it like this, imagine you've got this penny that doubles in value every day for a month.
Okay.
Might not seem like much at first,
Yep.
but by the end of the month, you'd be surprised at how much that penny has grown.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the power of compounding, and it applies to our habits as well.
Oh, that penny analogy. That's such a great visual. Yeah.
It really helps, right?
Yeah, it does.
Just to wrap your head around it.
It does, yeah. Okay, so we're talking about small changes, big results.
Yeah.
How much can, like, a 1% improvement each day really matter? Isn't that a little, well, too small to make a real difference?
It's a great question, and it seems so counterintuitive,
Yeah.
but that's where the magic happens. Think about it this way. If you get 1% better at something each day for a year, you're going to end up 37 times better by the end.
Wow.
But here's the flip side, the kind of scary part.
Okay.
If you get 1% worse each day, guess what?
What?
You decline almost to zero.
Oh, wow.
So it really highlights the subtle but significant impact
Yeah.
that our daily choices have over time.
Wow. 37 times better. That's
It's a big difference.
a staggering difference.
It is.
It's wild. It's like those small choices, they create this ripple effect,
They do, yeah.
building upon each other for better or worse.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if we apply that to like productivity, right?
Yeah.
Those little tweaks to our workflow, those extra few minutes of focused work,
Right.
they all contribute to something much bigger in the long run.
It all adds up, right?
Yeah.
It's not about making these drastic changes overnight.
Okay.
It's about focusing on making those small improvements, but consistently.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to goal setting.
Really?
Because I always make these elaborate plans
Yeah.
and then life happens, and then I get discouraged when I don't see immediate results.
It's so common, though. And that's why Clear advocates for this systems-first approach
Okay.
over traditional goal setting.
Mm-hmm.
Goals are important, for sure.
Okay.
They give us a direction,
Right.
but they're not so great for actual lasting change.
So true.
So think of it this way. Everybody wants to be healthier, wealthier, happier.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody.
But it's the systems, the daily processes
Yeah.
that actually get you there.
It's not about reaching like a destination.
Exactly.
It's about building a system that just becomes part of your lifestyle.
I love that.
Those daily habits that, like, over time lead you to your desired outcome.
Yes, beautifully said.
And one of the biggest flaws with goal setting is that achieving a goal is only, like, a momentary change.
It's true. You hit your target weight, but if you don't have the systems in place
exactly.
to maintain those healthy habits, you're likely to revert back to your old ways. It's the system that creates lasting change.
Yeah. This is making so much sense. So it's like, if my goal is to, like, learn a new language, it's not enough to just set that goal. I need to create a system, a daily routine.
I love it,
where I'm consistently practicing and, like, immersing myself in that language.
Precisely. And what's so fascinating is when you shift your focus from the outcome to the process, you're less likely to experience that yo-yo effect.
Oh, yeah.
Of reaching the goal only to fall back to our old habits.
Yeah.
With the system-first approach, you're constantly playing the game, not just trying to win it once.
There's actually a quote in the book that captures this perfectly, and he says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems."
Oh, I love that quote. So good.
So good, right.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that our current habits are perfectly designed to deliver our current results.
It's so true.
And if we want different results, guess what?
We need different systems.
We need different systems.
Exactly. And to understand how to create those effective systems, we need to delve into the mechanics of how habits actually work.
Right, exactly.
Which is what we'll explore next.
Okay, so we've established that building the right systems is key to forming lasting habits.
That's true.
But how do we actually do that?
Right.
What are the nuts and bolts of making these positive changes actually stick?
So to build effective systems, we need to understand the underlying mechanics of how habits are formed.
Okay.
And Clear breaks it down into this really simple but powerful framework he calls the 4 laws of behavior change.
I love it.
Which are essentially 4 stages. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying.
Ooh. I like it, okay?
Yeah.
It's like having a set of levers that we can pull to either reinforce good habits or dismantle bad ones.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's break these laws down. Starting with, make it obvious.
Okay.
How do we make those good habits that we want to cultivate more prominent in our lives?
So Clear talks about the power of implementation intentions.
Okay.
Which is basically a fancy way of saying decide what you're going to do and when you're going to do it.
Okay.
It's about removing the guesswork and making the habit as automatic as possible.
So instead of saying, like, I'm going to work out more, you would say, I'm going to go for a 30-minute run every morning before work.
Exactly.
By making it specific and time-bound, you're removing any ambiguity and creating a clear plan of action.
Precisely. And Clear takes it a step further with what he calls habit stacking.
Okay.
Which is basically linking a new habit to an existing one.
Oh. Well,
so, for example, you could say, after I brush my teeth in the morning, I will meditate for 5 minutes.
Okay.
By attaching the new habit to something you already do consistently, you're more likely to follow through.
Oh, it's like building a bridge between an existing routine and this new behavior you're trying to cultivate.
Yes, exactly.
And the more you travel across that bridge, the stronger it becomes.
I love that analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second law, make it attractive.
Okay.
This is all about increasing the appeal of those good habits.
Yeah.
One really effective strategy he talks about is temptation bundling.
Yes.
Where you link something you need to do with something you want to do.
Yes. I love that one.
Oh, yeah. It's like telling yourself you can only watch your favorite Netflix show while you're on the treadmill.
Exactly. By associating the habit you're trying to build with something enjoyable.
Right.
You're increasing its appeal and making it more likely that you'll stick with it.
This taps into the power of our brain's reward system.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
We're more likely to repeat behaviors that release those feel-good chemicals, like dopamine.
100%. And another aspect of making a habit attractive is joining a culture where that habit is the norm.
Oh, okay.
Surround yourself with people who already embody the habits you want to cultivate.
Okay.
And it becomes much easier. So, for example, if you want to eat healthier, joining a cooking class or a hiking group can make those healthy habits more appealing and accessible.
It's about finding your tribe.
Yes.
Those people who support and inspire you to become the best version of yourself.
I love that.
Okay, so let's move on to the third law.
Okay.
Make it easy.
Okay.
This is where a lot of us stumble, right?
Yeah,
we make things too complicated.
It's so easy to do.
And then we get discouraged and give up.
Right.
So how do we simplify the process and make those good habits more frictionless?
One of the most powerful strategies Clear introduces is the 2-minute rule.
Okay.
Which is deceptively simple but incredibly effective.
Okay.
It states that when you're starting a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do.
Okay, I'll admit, when I first heard that, I was like, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
How is that going to make a difference?
Right. It seems too easy.
Yes.
But the key is that most of the time, once you've overcome that initial inertia
Right.
and taken those first few steps,
Yes.
you'll find yourself naturally wanting to continue.
Oh, okay.
For example, instead of trying to run a 5K, you just focus on putting on your running shoes and getting out the door.
Okay.
The act of starting is often the biggest hurdle.
It's like that saying, well begun is half done.
Exactly.
By making the starting point super easy, you're tricking your brain into getting started.
Yes.
And then the momentum takes over.
Exactly. And another way to make it easy is to optimize your environment.
Okay.
We are incredibly influenced by our surroundings.
Right.
Claire talks about how even small changes in our environment can have a big impact on our behavior.
It's like that classic example he gives about the Amsterdam airport urinals.
Oh, yeah.
Where they put those tiny fly stickers in the urinals.
Yeah.
And it significantly reduced spillage.
It's amazing.
It sounds silly.
Yeah.
But it highlights how even small strategic changes in our environment can nudge us towards better behavior.
Absolutely.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, so if you want to read more, put a book on your bedside table. If you want to eat healthier, get rid of the junk food in your pantry.
Okay.
Make those good habits as effortless as possible by designing your environment to support them.
This is making me want to go on a decluttering spree. Yeah. Okay, but what about the flip side?
Right.
How do we make those bad habits less tempting?
Yeah.
Those things that we know aren't good for us but seem to have this magnetic pull.
Right. So that's where the inversion of this law comes in.
Okay.
Make it difficult.
Okay.
Increase the friction. Make those bad habits less appealing and less accessible.
Okay.
For example, if you're trying to cut back on social media, delete those apps from your phone or use a website blocker.
Okay, so instead of relying on willpower, which can be fickle,
Totally.
We're creating systems and environments that support our desired outcomes.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay, so let's move on to the fourth law.
Okay.
Make it satisfying. Because ultimately, we're more likely to repeat behaviors that bring us some sort of pleasure or reward.
This is where we tap into the power of immediate gratification.
Oh, yeah.
Which, let's face it, is something our brains are hardwired to crave.
We want those results, and we want them now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's to me now.
But so often, the rewards of good habits are delayed.
Right.
Like the benefits of exercising or eating healthy.
It's true.
Which makes it even harder to stay motivated in the moment.
Totally. It's hard.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do we bridge that gap? How do we make those good habits feel good in the here and now?
One really effective strategy is using a habit tracker.
Oh, yeah.
There's something incredibly motivating about visually seeing your progress.
Total.
Those little wins along the way.
Oh, I am a huge fan of habit trackers.
They're great.
There's something so satisfying about checking off those boxes.
Yes.
Or seeing that chain of X's on a calendar.
It feels good.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It creates a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And reinforces that positive behavior.
I agree.
And another powerful way to make it satisfying is to find an accountability partner.
Oh, someone to keep you on track.
It's like having a cheerleader in your corner.
Yes.
Someone to celebrate your wins with.
Totally.
And offer support when you're struggling.
Absolutely. It's huge.
Because, let's face it, we're social creatures.
We are.
And having that external support can be incredibly motivating.
It's true. And Claire even suggests formalizing this accountability by creating a habit contract.
Okay.
Which sounds very official.
It does. Habit contract.
I know, right? But it can be as simple as writing down your commitment.
Okay.
And the consequences of not following through.
Okay.
And then sharing it with your accountability partner.
Oh, so it's like adding that extra layer of commitment
Yes.
and making it more tangible.
Exactly.
Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals and is there to support you in reaching them.
It leverages the power of social expectation.
Right.
And it reinforces your commitment.
Okay, these 4 laws of behavior change are brilliant.
They're good, right?
They give us a framework for understanding how habits work and a set of tools to build better systems in our lives.
Yes, I love it.
But what about those inevitable moments when we slip up? Because we're human, it's going to happen.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
How do we handle those setbacks without getting discouraged and just throwing in the towel?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's where the power of self-compassion and resilience comes in.
Okay.
And we'll explore that in the next part of our deep dive.
So we've been talking about the power of atomic habits
Yeah.
And how to use these small incremental changes to create lasting transformation in our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's be real.
Okay.
There will be times when we stumble.
Of course.
When those old habits, they kind of rear their ugly heads.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, and we just feel like we're back to square one.
Right back to the beginning.
So how do we deal with those inevitable setbacks without letting them derail our progress?
This is where self-compassion becomes so crucial.
Okay.
Clear emphasizes that it's not about achieving perfection. It's about developing the resilience to just get back on track quickly when you have a misstep.
It's so easy to fall into that trap of, I blew it today.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well just give up altogether.
Ugh, I know.
But that kind of all-or-nothing thinking can be so destructive.
100%. Clear introduces this brilliant concept. He calls it never miss twice.
Okay.
So if you stumble, don't beat yourself up about it.
Right.
Acknowledge it, learn from it.
Okay.
And then recommit to getting back on track with the very next opportunity.
It's like that idea of viewing setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures.
Exactly.
Each mistake becomes a chance to refine your approach.
Totally.
And strengthen your commitment.
100%.
Yeah.
It's about building that muscle of resilience.
Yeah.
That ability to just bounce back stronger and wiser each time you face a challenge.
Yeah. I love that.
Remember, we're aiming for consistency over time.
Okay.
Not perfection in every single moment.
This is such a liberating perspective.
It is.
Because it takes the pressure off needing to be perfect.
Yeah.
And it allows us to just embrace the journey, you know?
Totally, bumps and all.
Bumps and all.
Exactly.
And Clear also talks about how powerful it can be to have someone in our corner
Absolutely.
cheering us on and holding us accountable. Right?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Having that accountability partner or a support system can make all the difference.
Totally.
It's about creating that social support network that reinforces your commitment and provides encouragement when you need it most.
It's like having a workout buddy.
Yes.
But for all areas of life.
Totally.
Someone to celebrate your wins with.
Yes.
And offer a gentle nudge when you're slacking off.
Exactly.
Because let's face it, we're social creatures.
We are.
And having that external support can be so motivating.
It's true. And Cleary even suggests kind of formalizing this accountability by creating what he calls a habit contract.
A habit contract.
Yeah, it sounds very official, I know.
It does.
But it can be as simple as just writing down your commitment.
Okay.
And the consequences of not following through.
Okay.
And then just sharing that with your accountability partner.
So it's like adding that extra layer of commitment and making it more tangible, knowing that someone else is aware of your goals.
Right.
And is there to support you in reaching them.
It leverages that power of social expectation.
Right.
And reinforces your commitment.
Yeah. This has been so insightful.
It's a great book.
Great. It really has, yeah. Atomic Habits by James Clear, everybody.
Everyone should read it.
You really should. So as we're wrapping up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with this. One final thought-provoking question that Clear poses in his book.
I'm ready.
He says, if you were to improve just 1% each day for the next year, where would you be?
Ooh.
What would your life look like?
That's powerful.
It's powerful, right?
Yeah.
It challenges us to consider the cumulative impact of those small, consistent actions over time.
Yes.
It reminds us that even though we may not see dramatic changes overnight, the small steps that we take each day, they have the power to lead us to extraordinary destinations.
They really do.
It's about embracing that atomic mindset.
Yes.
Understanding that lasting change is not about those grand gestures.
I love that.
But it's about cultivating those tiny habits.
Small things.
That over time compound into remarkable results.
It's a game changer.
It is a game changer, yeah. Well, this has been fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. It was wonderful.
It was my pleasure.
To our listeners, we encourage you to pick up Atomic Habits.
Yes.
Delve into its wisdom.
So good.
And most importantly, start implementing those small changes today.
Yeah, start today.
Because remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
That's right.
And every small step you take moves you closer to becoming the best version of yourself.
I love it.
So until next time, happy habit building, everybody.
Bye.